to the Forest Lake Area High School's 109th annual commencement ceremony and our first ever virtual ceremony. At this time, I would like to invite you to please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the singing of the national anthem sung by the Forest Lake Area High School Choir under the direction of Mr. John Guidry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Dr. Massey, members of the school board, honored guests, friends, family, and most importantly, the class of 2020. It is my distinct and sincere honor to welcome you to the 109th annual Forest Lake Area High School commencement ceremony and our first ever virtual commencement. I am Jim Caldwell, principal of the Forest Lake Area High School. Who would have predicted this? Who would have predicted that one day in March you would be gearing up for your third quarterfinals, excited for spring break, the start of spring sports, only to be told that it's all canceled and we will be going to distance learning. No one would have thought that this year's graduation ceremony would be brought to you via YouTube link. Who would have predicted this? The fact is, nobody. Nobody could have predicted this. What we could predict is how the class of 2020 would react. Over the course of the last 3 years, I have had the privilege of watching a group of 500 plus students who led by example from day one. You have accepted adversity with grace and poise. As seniors, you have led by example both in the school and community. As a collective group, you have left an everlasting mark on this school community that will be remembered for years to come. The class of 2020 has much to be proud of. Under your leadership, you have earned this year alone 3 National Merit Scholar finalists, $2,029,388 in scholarships and grants, 2,920 hours of confirmed community service, 7 conference titles, 9 team section titles, 7 team state appearances, 37 individual state tournament appearances, and 1 team state championship. Very impressive despite the fact that we did not have spring activities and sports, and by no fault of your own, you had to finish your senior year at home. Each generation has a story to tell, and yours is no different. What that story will be is up to each of you individually. I remember as a child talking to my parents and grandparents about life, and more often than not, I would get the, "You think you have it tough. When I was your age, you fill in the blank." What will your blank be when you look back and tell your story? Whether you are headed to the trades, to work, to college, the military, or a gap year, after tonight you will turn your page on chapter 1 and start writing chapter 2. As a graduating class of 2020, you still have many questions that remain to be answered as you begin that chapter 2. No matter what those answers, remember, you and you alone are the author of your story. Go out and make us proud, and remember, once a Ranger, always a Ranger. At this time, I would like to invite our three student speakers to the stage, Livia Wagner, Stephen Winnick, and Angelina Racci. They will be sharing their thoughts and reflections of the class of 2020. Please welcome to the podium, Miss Livia Wagner. Livia will be attending the University of St. Thomas and majoring in history. Livia.
Before I begin, I would like to take this moment, a moment from my story, the end of my chapter here, to thank you all. My teachers, friends, family, and especially Dr. Massey, Principal Caldwell, and the school board. And especially the class of 2020 for making this possible. Because without any of you, I wouldn't be here today. And right now, I don't want to be anywhere else. I can't lie and tell you I've never dreamed of this, standing up here and speaking at graduation. For years I dreamed of this moment, this day, our graduation. It was going to be the most glorious day of my life, where I got to accept my diploma and put this chapter on my bookshelf. But I took my dreams for granted, my dreams of leaving Minnesota, my family, the people I've known my whole life, and starting new, my dreams of today. I want to turn back a few pages. For 5 years, I dreamed of getting out of Forest Lake. Since I was 12, all I could think about was college. Crazy, right? I was interested in my brother's science textbooks that held so much information it seemed like the binds would break with a single page turn. I wanted to learn what it meant. I wanted to learn what all of it was. Suddenly, when 7th grade came around, I was scared. I was lost. I only knew the people I went to elementary with, and everything I knew academically was in a different language. I was scared. For the first time in my life, the place where I spent most of my days was unfamiliar. Like that first day of kindergarten, except this time, instead of accepting my new environment, I immersed myself in thoughts of the future, ignoring everything in front of me. Because of that, I thought our school system couldn't give me any of the knowledge I so desperately wanted. I thought my classes were a waste of time, and that made me believe I had to get to college to really start learning. When I actually got to the high school, a page turned, and everything changed. My family had moved to White Bear Lake, and I was now a good 30-minute drive to school. Because of this, my parents had wanted me to transfer schools, and we explored countless options. But as my mom and I walked through those halls, I realized that Forest Lake was all I wanted. It was all I needed. This massive change in my life led me to see every day as an adventure. I could now test how many back roads I could take to school before I got a tardy, how many stops I could make for breakfast in the morning, but most importantly, how late I could leave my house. Honestly though, I began to cherish my education at Forest Lake. I soon learned my teachers, who have taught me more than I could read in any amount of books, and who have given me opportunities I can't imagine receiving elsewhere, were amazing. That all brings me here, to now. While I tell you of my story, I know I'm not the only one who dreamed of today. I'm quite positive we all played out our own scenarios of how the day would go countless times. For years we dreamed of this moment, and we each wrote our own version to the end of our chapters. This end is now different, but this day, regardless of how it was meant to go, still marks the end of our high school careers. For some of us, it marks the end of waking up at 6:45 every morning since the first grade. For most of us, it marks the end of taking classes with people we've known our whole lives. For all of us, it marks the end of school lunches that were sometimes questionable, the end of walking through the halls with a weird bathroom pass, or any bathroom pass at all, the end of high school. I'd say this pandemic, but honestly, these last few days have given me the opportunity to reflect on the decisions I made and the moments that are lost and forgotten. I decided I can't live my life in the past. I have to move forward and live in this moment, right here, right now. Right now, all that matters is that we are here, because there's no way any of us expected our graduation to be held under these circumstances. Yet that's what makes it unforgettable. That's what makes it valuable. The world we live in is completely unpredictable and will forever be able to change in a single moment. Yet we are here, graduating. This moment is ours. So let us live in this moment now, these moments we can share together, not in the way we imagined, but together nonetheless. Because we deserve this just as much as any graduating class, if not more. We have struggled, learned, cried, and celebrated through the first 13 years of our educations because we wanted to be here doing this. We can't forget that this was this chapter's end goal. Every book has its ups and downs, its twists and turns, its climaxes, realizations, and its happy ending. So let's let this chapter end on a high note. A story of strengths and trials, of overcoming enormous unpredictable obstacles. This was our beginning. Let's live in the glory of it. And when it begins, let your next chapter take you on a journey you'll never forget. One you'll cherish and hold so close to your heart, it'll be like you're living in it over and over again. Because we have to live every moment in the present in order to appreciate our past. Let this day be ours, because it is. It always has been. We can't let this plot twist change that. Congratulations, class of 2020. We're here.
Thank you, Livia. At this time, please welcome Mr. Stephen Winnick. Stephen will be attending Columbia University in New York City and majoring in economics, mathematics. Stephen Winnick.
Before I begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the murder of George Floyd by 4 Minneapolis police officers last week and the subsequent use of unannounced violence against peaceful protesters, and use this platform to call attention to issues of systemic racism that have existed within our society for hundreds of years. There are so many ways that we can support the fight for justice and educate ourselves, but if you're looking for something easy, and I know this is going to sound weird, but please tab out of my speech and go to Netflix and add the documentary 13th by Ava DuVernay to your watch list if you haven't already seen it. Seriously, I'm not kidding. I encourage everyone to go do it. 13th, 13th. This is a great starting point for anyone hoping to educate themselves on a few of the issues of systemic racism that are currently being protested. And as we're all watching a lot of Netflix nowadays anyway, I promise this is worth putting off a couple episodes of Tiger King for. For anyone wondering what they can do right now to make an immediate positive impact on our Twin Cities community, please consider donating to the nonprofit organization Reclaim the Block, which works to divest Minneapolis funds away from carceral institutions and instead invest in far more effective community-led health and safety initiatives. Hopefully that was enough time for everyone to make it back, so let's get started. As we gather here today, while maintaining proper social distancing, to celebrate our graduation and the commencement of our education, I'd like to welcome all of you that may be watching, especially those who have helped make this all possible. Mr. Sauer, Mrs. Turry, Mr. Marn, Mrs. Esme, Mr. Jacobson, Miss Brett, Mr. Zamansky, Mrs. Penn, Mr. Schaefer, Ms. Wright, Ms. Ungerecht, and Mr. Leventhal, thank you all so much for everything you've done to go so far above and beyond and make my and many of my classmates' experience in this school district so memorable. Family, friends, the Nerd Herd, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2020, thank you for everything you've done to support my educational journey and for allowing me to speak to you today. Now, it's no secret that our graduating class of 2020 has had a unique high school experience, to say the least. Obviously, our senior year was upended by the COVID-19 pandemic, but let's not forget that in our sophomore year, we literally went to high school in a construction zone. Last year was the first year that 9th graders were in the building full-time. Like a watered-down version of Harry Potter, each year that we've spent at Forest Lake High School has been marked by some unique challenge. Maybe it's just the debater in me, but today I want to make the case that having abnormal things happen in your life isn't such a bad thing. Obviously, I'm not going to try and convince anyone that being forced to share a school, cafeteria, flex space, or really anything with freshmen is a good thing because, let's face it, that would be impossible. But I do think it's worth taking a look at what it would be like if every day in your life was just a normal day, and if that's something any of us truly want. To do so, we must first look to the wisdom imparted on society by existentialist philosopher Radric Davis, who most of us know as Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane once said, "If you don't have the sauce, then you're lost, but you can also get lost in the sauce." Now, what specifically Gucci Mane meant by this, we'll probably never know, but for the next few minutes, I'm going to pretend that I do. I mean, if there's anything I've learned by clicking through career interest surveys as fast as I can during Ranger Connect each week, it's fake it till you make it, baby. Sometime or another, we'll all reach a point in our lives where we can just put everything on autopilot and coast for a while. A lot of friends or family members watching might be at that point right now. Sure, you might have to stay late at work one day or drive your kid to t-ball practice the next, but when you take a step back and look at your life as a whole, the days, weeks, months, and sometimes even years start to blur together. We fall into these cycles where every day, every week, every month, and sometimes really every year is no different than the one that came before it. Right away, these cycles might not seem so bad, but then you realize that every mistake you're making over and over and over and over. Everything that detracts from your quality of life happens again and again and again and again. To me, that is what it means to be lost in the sauce. We get so caught up in this idea that we need to just make it through the day that we lose sight of the fact that this is it. This is our one shot at life, and we need to make the most of it. We fall into these cycles because they're easy. They make us feel comfortable. Back when we went to school in person, many of us, myself included, had a pretty set routine. Wake up at 6 or 7, go to school, go to work or sports, come home, watch Netflix, YouTube, or TikTok for like 2 hours, maybe do a little bit of homework, watch some more Netflix, and then go to bed. Then, all of a sudden, that dude from Forrest Gump got sick and we realized this is all real. The world gets turned upside down and we're uncomfortable because most of these cycles are broken for about 2 weeks. Then it's essentially right back to the way it was before, but instead of waking up at 7, we wake up at 11. Instead of 2 hours of Netflix, now it's 4 or more, but who's counting? What's important is the fact that finally something came along, not only to help us find our way through the sauce, but pulling us directly out of it. And many of us just cannonballed right back in. So if you are still lost in the sauce, how can you find your way through? Well, for that, we have to look to the words of another great, our psych teacher, Ms. Wilkie. As Wilkie always says, the single most important purpose of any successful organism is to reproduce, usually by having no, that doesn't seem right. Oh yeah, that one was from our bio teacher, Lev. As Wilkie always says, what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you. To find your way through the sauce, every once in a while, you need to slow everything down, take a step back, and look around you to see if you're lost in it. Escaping these cycles doesn't mean doing something completely different every day, but let's have our class of 2020 challenge ourselves to be uncomfortable. Let's challenge ourselves to get rid of the things that detract from our quality of life. Let's challenge ourselves to try new things, to start new projects, to go on new adventures. Let's challenge ourselves to make meaningful changes in our society. Let's challenge ourselves to make the most of abnormal situations. Except those career interest surveys, because let's face it, there's not much you can make out of that. But most importantly, let's have our class of 2020 challenge ourselves to go out and find the sauce, but not get lost in it. Thanks, and shout out to Joe.
Thank you, Stephen. Our final student speaker for this evening is Miss Angelina Rocci. Angelina will be attending the American Musical and Dramatic Arts College in Los Angeles, California, where she plans on majoring in musical theater and acting. Angelina.
Good afternoon, Forest Lake High School. I'm Angelina Rocci, and I know you never listen to the announcements. It's okay. The past is the past. I'd hate to ruin your dreams, but I in fact did not write the announcements. Today's speech is all me. So lend me your ear because I hope that it will be a little more engaging than what will be served for lunch tomorrow. You may be a little tired of my voice by this point in high school, but you know who isn't? Your parents, friends, and family. So I'd like to welcome them, as well as Dr. Massey and Principal Caldwell. Don't think I forgot about the guest of honor, us, the class of 2020. And thank you for letting me speak one last time. You can't deny that this situation makes the class of 2020 unique, but of course it's not the only thing. High school technically starts in 9th grade, but for us, we were either still at Southwest or Century. We were the last class that experienced Ranger Hour. We fondly remember math with Shugel and biology with Lev. Something I remember from said biology class is that life is beautiful because of variations. A flower is beautiful because it stands out with its unique color or fancy stem. Our differences are what make us beautiful, what makes life beautiful. Now, it's okay to be sad today. It's okay to lament the fact that we won't be having the graduation we dreamed of. Our dreams are clearly very important to us, something we hold fast to. They're what create what our lives become. Our dreams are the seeds we plant to grow those beautiful flowers. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and pretend that I savored and enjoyed every second of my days at Forest Lake High School. In fact, the first day of sophomore year, I started counting the days until I would graduate. It was 981 days. Within those 981 days, I learned some things. How late can I leave my house in the morning without being late for school? How late can I be to class without my teacher marking me tardy? How late can I turn in an assignment and still get full credit? You can only go to the dentist so many times in a year, and I am horrendously bad at chemistry. Time management, how to be a good friend, and organization may not be emphasized as much as pre-calc or history, but are just as important. Just like leaves on a stem, they might not be as colorful or as bright as the petals, but they are just as important. Take in the little things in life and you might just learn some big lessons. Needless to say, high school is hard. There have been many times I procrastinated writing a paper, didn't read a book for CIS literature. Sorry, Brett, they're just so depressing. And I don't know why Gatsby likes Daisy. He just does. There are times I felt left out or like I didn't belong, but those didn't last long because of the people I've met here at Forest Lake High School. They are the reason I have so much happiness to look back upon. The people are what define the class of 2020, not this situation. Poison, the 80s hair band, says every rose has its thorns, but that doesn't distract from the beauty of the flower. We may face hardship and have to be 6 feet apart from everyone, but like the rain, it only makes the flower taller and stronger. Let us all see this as a time of growth. We may not see the sun right now, but we know it's there. Just like we know our friends and family are there for us even when we can't see them. We would not be graduating without these suns. Our friends who picked us up when we were down, ditched class with us to get Starbucks, or made us laugh. Our parents who made those lunches for us every day in elementary school or high school. Our teachers who went to school early just so we could take a test, stayed after for us when we didn't understand something, and then after that, coached us or ran a club so that we could do what we really loved. Each one of these people's unique gifts and personalities made our lives better. Like the sun, these people were there for us, shining, helping us grow and become the people we are today. Forest Lake is like the root of our flowers, where we come from, somewhere we can always come back to and call home. Although we have the same roots, our flowers and lives are all very different. Without our differences, our lives would be boring. Flowers are beautiful because they stand out in a field of green. To continue to make lives beautiful, we need to stand out and stand up for what we believe in. To not be afraid to be loud or be the only rose in a field of daisies. To value our leaves and our lessons just as much as we value our petals. To see the rain as an opportunity for growth, and to know that the sun will always be there waiting for us on the other side of the storm. Despite our differences, we all came together here at the high school, worked together, and finally graduated. Thank you all for making my life more beautiful, colorful, bright, and interesting. For making my experience at Forest Lake High School so positive, and for being my sons, S-U-N, not S-O-N, that allowed me to become the person I am today. May you continue to make life beautiful with your uniqueness and help others grow with your light and support. Go out and achieve your dreams, the ones you've been holding on to for so long.
Thank you, Angelina. At this time, please enjoy a video presentation created by Parker McEachran, featuring an original song written, composed, and dedicated by our own Ranger alumni, class of 2018, Paige Perucci. This is just the start.
Each of us has a story about how we came to where we are. has a big dream of where we'll go after this part. Well, I know that we're gonna make it far. There's a great big world that's waiting for all of us, and there's a great big road, and we're kicking off the dust. There's a great big sky, and we're shooting for the stars. There's a fire burning in our hearts, knowing this is just the start. This is just the start. I can see a new light before our eyes, and I can feel our feet moving towards a new chapter of life. And I can't wait to see how we all shine. There's a great big world that's waiting for all of us, and there's a great big road, and we're kicking off the dust. There's a great big sky, and we're shooting for the stars. There's the fire burning in our hearts, knowing this is just the start. This is just the start. Ooh, this is just the start. Where there's a smile, there is meaning. Where there's tears, there is leaning. And where there's dreams, there is believing. And I know that we'll reach it. Where there's a smile, there is meaning. Where there's tears, there is leaning. Where there's a dream, there is believing. And I know that we'll reach it. There's a great big world that's waiting for all of us, and there's a great big road, and we're kicking off the dust. There's a great big sky, and we're shooting for the stars. There's a fire burning in our hearts, knowing this is just the start. This is just the start.
Thank you, Parker and Paige. It is my distinct honor to present this year's faculty speaker, Mrs. Julie Greiman. Julie grew up on a farm in Algonia, Iowa, and graduated as a valedictorian in 1975 from Algonia High School. In 1979, she graduated from Buena Vista University in Storm Lake, Iowa, with majors in elementary education and English, with minors in remedial reading and physical education. After graduating, she moved to Forest Lake and started teaching 5th grade at Columbus Elementary in the fall of 1979. I was in 3rd grade. She took a leave from teaching in 1985 to have 2 children, Joshua and Kelsey. When she returned to teaching, she also returned to Columbus Elementary, but this time as a grade 1 through 3 multi-age teacher in the new Montessori program. Julie was a teacher in the Montessori program for 10 years. During that time period, she earned her master's in education from the University of Wisconsin River Falls and her administrative licensure from St. Mary's University in Minneapolis. She also served as a Forest Lake Summer School Coordinator from 1998 to 2003. In 2003, she became a Dean of Students at the Forest Lake Area High School, and 2 years later became principal of Scandia Elementary. During her 15-year tenure at Scandia Elementary, Scandia became an International Baccalaureate World School in 2015, a designation given to only 23 elementary schools in the state of Minnesota. From 2016 to 2018, Julie played an integral role in the total renovation of Scandia Elementary. In 2017, Scandia also earned the status of a Minnesota PBIS school. Julie has served numerous district committees, including the Strategic Planning, Literacy and Math Review, Curriculum and Instruction, and Policy. She has been a member of the Minnesota Elementary School Principal Association and the Metropolitan Principal Association. In 2016, Julie graduated from the University of Minnesota's Principal Academy National Institute of School Leaders program and has served as a facilitator for the Academy since 2017. In 2019, Julie was a recipient of the Minnesota Elementary School Principals Association Leadership Achievement Award. After 33 years as an educator for Forest Lake area schools, Julie is retiring this year from her dream career. She and her husband, Dr. Brad Greiman, a professor at the University of Minnesota, plan on traveling, spending time on their Clear Lake cabin, and cheering on the Gophers. Julie is looking forward to more family time with son Joshua Carver and wife Shannon, and daughter Kelsey Johnson and husband Blake, who are expecting. Julie and Brad's first grandchild this summer. Please join me in welcoming my friend, my mentor, and my colleague, Julie Greiman.
Mr. Caldwell, Dr. Massey, members of the Forest Lake Area School Board, and our special guests, the class of 2020. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. I am truly honored. 45 years ago, I sat in a sticky hot gymnasium in a small town in Iowa listening to a graduation speech. But what was truly on my mind, I distinctly remember, was, wow, this is really happening. I'm graduating from high school. I'm excited to get this ceremony finished, however, because my graduation party starts right afterwards. I had a summer job all lined up and college in the fall. I was excited, nervous, and a little sad to be leaving what I was familiar with. But because I was a graduating member of the great class of 1975, I believed I was completely ready for the future. Fast forward to now, the commencement ceremony for the class of 2020, a ceremony that is unlike any other that has taken place at Forest Lake area schools, and during a time in our nation's history that is unprecedented. You are facing a future that is difficult to fathom and at times to be optimistic about. The plans you started your senior year have certainly changed, and with those changes have come challenges that you never could have contemplated back in September. But in March, you had to adapt to distance learning, to social distancing, and to staying at home. You and your families may have faced health challenges and financial hardships, yet here you are, ready to accept your diplomas and to graduate from Forest Lake area schools. The next few months of your life will not be easy to plan, but here you are, ready to take those next steps. How are you able to take these steps and move forward? How can you have optimism, excitement, and confidence in what the next few months will bring? What have you relied on during these past few months to get to your graduation day? During this time of year, you hear people deciding what they are going to give to the graduates in their lives. Well, I believe you already have some special gifts that have been developing inside of you since you entered kindergarten 13 years ago. These gifts have been nurtured through the efforts of your families, mentors, and countless teachers. In the course of my 33 years as an educator here in Forest Lake area schools, I have worked with hundreds of students to prepare them for future learning and success. I have had the opportunity to see certain traits grow and develop within students to prepare them for their next endeavors. As the principal of Scandia Elementary International Baccalaureate World School, we focus on certain traits to develop within our students. These are called the learner profile, and we believe that growing these attributes in our students will assist them to be successful world citizens. I'd like to talk with you about 3 of those attributes, or like I like to call them, gifts, that you have acquired over your years of education. The first gift is knowledge. For 13 years, the adults in your lives have given you information on a myriad of subjects. You have liked some areas better than others, and now you are ready to go forward and pursue those areas of knowledge that excited you the most. Benjamin Franklin is quoted as saying that an interest in knowledge pays the best dividends. You have already had to think critically about what your next steps are going to be. You have asked questions and have had to be open-minded when facing the choices in front of you now and in the next few months. The decisions you make will be based on the knowledge you have within you. The adults in your life have planted the seeds of knowledge. Now it is time for you to grow this gift in your own way. You may be the person to discover a cure, to innovate a new system, or design the next device. Do not let your youth stop you. At age 15, Louis Braille adapted a military messaging system into an embossed dot reading code for the blind. He used his gift of knowledge, along with his own experiences of being blind, to make the world a better place. The second gift is communication. Bill Gates said, and I quote, "I'm a great believer that any tool that enhances communication has profound effects in terms of how people can learn from each other and how they can achieve the kind of freedoms that they're interested in." In these last few months, we have had to learn to communicate in new and different ways from a distance. This long-distance communication is not easy. You've had to think carefully when speaking or writing to be sure that your ideas are being received in just the way you want them to be. When you've been unsure, you've had to ask questions to clarify and then to reflect on the communication in order to move forward. Social distancing has forced us to communicate in person differently. You've had to balance how much time you spend online and how you can be physically present with your families and your friends. Finding what adults call a work-life balance is something that most graduating seniors usually do not have to face while still in high school. However, COVID-19 has given you a taste of this and has made you develop your gift of communication in a whole new way. Your unique communication skills can be used to motivate your coworkers, rally your team, calm a sick child, or console a grieving friend. How you communicate your knowledge can change your world. In 2003, 19-year-old Matt Mullenweg developed the open source contact management system called WordPress. This website platform is used today for countless websites and blogs. Matt Mullenweg took this platform and grew it into a billion-dollar company called Automatic. Matt, at age 19, was able to use his communication skills to change the world. The third gift is to be a risk taker. Whether you know it or not, you have been taking risks since you were born. Those first few steps you took, the first time you rode your bike without training wheels, that first time behind the wheel of a car all by yourself, those were all risks. We often equate being a risk taker with someone who doesn't think carefully but just acts impulsively. However, that isn't the risk taker I'm talking about. Taking risks isn't about being foolhardy. General George Patton said, "Take calculated risks. That is quite different from being rash." When you were participating in your classes, you took risks by raising your hand, answering and asking questions, and collaborating with your peers on a project. You challenged yourself to learn more, and you undoubtedly made mistakes, but you kept trying. Doing school through distance learning was certainly taking a risk, but you accepted the risk, and here you are, ready to graduate. Michael Jordan, arguably the best professional basketball player of all time, believed that while he could accept failure, because everyone fails at something. He couldn't accept not trying. During the past 18 years of your young life, you have grown your self-confidence as you took more risks and made plenty of mistakes along the way. But you kept trying and learning from your experiences. In 1922, 18-year-old Ralph Samuelson liked riding a board off the back of his brother's boat on Lake Pepin, right here in Minnesota. But he ended up sinking into the water more times than he liked. Finally, he was able to modify his board into 2 skis with leather foot straps, and by holding on to an iron ring tied to a 100-foot tow rope, he was successful. That 18-year-old Ralph Samuelson invented the sport of water skiing. Risk takers look at all the angles. They try and try again, and they don't give up. Being a risk taker is a lifelong gift that you will rely upon for the rest of your life. I love this quote by Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. So, class of 2020, let's take one more look at your graduation gifts: knowledge, communication, and risk-taking. You are facing a future that is unlike any other seen by graduating classes in modern history. But here is the difference that I've seen between you, the class of 2020, and previous graduating classes, including that graduating class way back in 1975. You have a step up on all those graduates because you have been asked to face unheard of challenges which started before your graduation day. You have had to think creatively and critically, using your knowledge skills to finish your senior coursework without the person-to-person support of your classmates and teachers. You've had to clearly communicate through distance learning with teachers, future employers, and college admission counselors. You've had to be open-minded in understanding why you had to miss so many senior milestones. If there has ever been a graduating class that has faced adversity with resiliency, courage, and grace, it is you. But in spite of all those challenges, here you are, looking at a future that is filled with unknowns, but ready to take a risk and step forward. It is time, class of 2020, to unwrap your graduation gifts of knowledge, communication, and risk-taking. You have just peeked inside these gifts to finish your last months of your senior year. However, the world is looking at you, the class of 2020, to fully open your gifts now. Use your knowledge, communicate it, and take the risks necessary to reach your goals. Each of you has these gifts, but how you use them will be unique. At Scandia Elementary, we are the Scandia Stars, and we encourage our students to shine bright. Your graduation signs had the hashtag of Be the Light. We need each and every one of you to open your gifts, to shine bright, and be the light, so you can lead the world forward to build a future that is filled with optimism, creativity, and hope. Congratulations, class of 2020. You are Ranger Strong.
Thank you, Mrs. Dryman. Dr. Massey, Board President Peterson, and the rest of the Forest Lake Area School Board, at this time, together with Kelly Lafine, Principal at the Forest Lake Area Community School, it is my honor and privilege to present to you the class of 2020, having met all the graduation requirements set forth by the Forest Lake Area School Board and the state of Minnesota. Please enjoy this presentation of our graduates, edited by Colby Cummings and narrated by Mrs. Leanne Brockman and Mr. Craig Zamansky. Graduates and families, please join us if you wish for the celebration of the graduates at the Forest Lake Area High School. The gates to the parking lot will open at 6 and the celebration will start at 6:30. And now, the class of 2020.
Students of Dean Eric Stang. Travis Ty Weiss.
Zachary John Walbridge.
Jasmine Marie Evans.
Zachary Lee Lane.
Savannah Rose Gambeski.
Swapana Eliza Clements.
Katia Jacqueline Wilcox.
Damian Theodore Hegdahl.
Ariana Dalen Page Smith.
Wyatt Stephen Crescent.
Danny Love Saylor.
Emily Rose Kiger.
Carter Michael Sellers.
Ireland Renee Marsh.
Caitlin Audrey Goodwin.
Libby Jordan Ledbina.
Michael James Pennison.
Gabriella Marie Colvin.
Kaylee Jean Luger.
Brandon Charles Clotter.
Jason Lee Thornell.
Emily Marie Shaw.
Moritana Eve Duff Griffith.
Hawken Trigby Sand.
Students of Dean Andrew Stoikey.
Jane Sarah Burke.
Kong Chu Chong.
Ryan Martin Christensen.
Hannah Rose Clinton.
Logan Mark Anderson.
Derek Christopher Bradshaw.
Christopher Lauren Blount.
Aaron Michael Bloomberg.
Alexis Taylor Doctor.
Zachary Nicholas Conway.
Noah Christian DeWolf.
Max Michael Charlson.
Brianna Lauren Bellinger.
Blake Raymond Boyd.
Jessica Lynn Colliard.
Levi Jason Aarons.
Tyler Richard Dubiel.
Grace Nicole Dunn.
Celia Ann Bennett.
Brody Stephen Bruner.
Star Angel Boilo.
Namaya Berhanamaskol.
Tiana Jewel Carver.
Jackson Scott Barnes.
Xavier David Shavir.
Colby Christopher Cummings.
Madeline Gale Best.
Amelia May Dreyfall.
Anna Lilia May Daza.
Connor Allen Blanchard.
Dylan Michael Berg.
Bianca Ann Marie Brown.
Pablo Jesus Carrillo.
Jack Charles Barr.
Madeline Rose Dreyer.
Hannah Lee Beer.
Zachary Richard Belial.
Ryan James Blumenthal.
Larissa Lucine Broder.
Ryan Howard Brown.
Tristan Garrett Burtek.
Kennedy May Brandvold.
Hunter Ray Belfany.
Sage Elizabeth Anderson.
Melissa Marinda Ball.
Jack Emmanuel Charpentier.
Jordan Lee Bulow.
Caitlin Minogue Aiken.
Mark Anthony Caruso.
Paige Morgan Brock.
Ella Mae Anderson.
Cole Brian Carpenter.
Jasmine Adele Donaldson.
Joseph St. Michael Brink.
Amy Chen.
Emmy Alice Beckrich.
Ryan William Capistrand.
William Cole Chatwin,
Jack Archibald Baudet,
Maria Ellen Anderson,
Mason Anthony Aragoni,
Logan Allen Barr,
Pedro Castillo Jr.,
Bailey Marie Danaski,
Ian Elliott Dow,
Logan Jacob Epperts,
Alyssa Ann Dressel,
Caitlin Grace Blackburn,
Reagan Michael Anderson,
Iman Omar Barrento,
Grace Elizabeth Rose Bertholme,
Ashley Elaine Berg,
Ryan Lee Edquist,
Josephine Ann Bothan,
Connor Lee Duxon,
Kayla Jean Burns,
Abigail Faith Drury,
Angel Rose Marie Cubis,
Gabriel Jackson Brisbois,
students of Dean Sarah Stratton,
Shelby Ann Hantho,
Noah Jerome Hansen,
Cole Kelly Housey,
Devin Robert Gould,
Lucas Daniel Erickson,
Abigail Elizabeth Glixner,
Amanda Catherine Ekbal,
Ashley Sarah Halliday,
Alexis Marie Grisbeck,
Richard Joel England,
Samantha Ellen Fight,
Autumn Ann Huddleston,
Chimeng Alex Herb,
Ethan Daniel Erickson,
Zachary Ryan Henches,
Jasmine Michelle Gendersey,
Shelby Ann Grosinger,
Benjamin Joseph Gornick,
Alexis K. Grabo,
Alyssa Jo Frogner,
Natalie Elizabeth Jacobson,
Taylor Zoe Ann Glumack,
Cody Elizabeth Angst,
Cheyenne Dakota Foster,
Cole Allen Gullickson,
Dylan McGuire Hale,
Elena Mae Gierke,
Bailey Lynn Hudella,
Christopher A. Gay,
Peter Dennis Jackson,
Taylor James Jensen,
Sarah Elizabeth Heald,
Alexander John Ferraro,
Taylor K. Hickerson,
Andrew Yorick Jensen,
Zachary Del Gordy,
Trenton William Elliott,
James Michael Hogan,
Khalid Abdi Hassan,
Drake Jeffrey Gullickson,
Marin Bailey Jens,
Eli William Freeman,
Noah Henry Allen Heikela,
Ryan Peter Grindall,
Alexander Lee Jankowski,
Sydney Nicole Johnson,
Kate Ann Gamenden,
Braden William Gierke,
Bailey Marie Hansen,
Sydney Elaine Seep Green,
Tyler Jacob Guertin,
Zachary Leonard Furlong,
Saeed Abdirashid Jaman,
Samuel Hernandez,
Avery James Hiller,
Eric Joel Poole,
Desiree Hope Finstrom,
Alexis Rose Fournier,
Caitlin Anella Galadowicz,
Mitchell Avery Folksy,
Quentin Charles Evans.
Ryan Matthew Heyer.
Charles David Victor Ferderer.
Hannah Marie Helinski.
James Jacob Fleming.
Alan Marie Gaynor.
Robin Deanna Holt.
Carrion Shea Gomez.
Ronald Christian Henderson.
Gracie Margaret Gregoire.
Jacob Thomas Gona.
Calder David Eric.
Casey Jewel Fradalone.
Caleb Elmer Friesen.
Grace Ruth Hawley.
Autumn Elizabeth Ewing.
Caitlin Anna Hall.
Alice Jara.
Anthony Robert Full.
Adam Mitchell Harrington.
Brianna Elaine Erickson.
Ethan Armando Foray.
Daniel Lawrence Findell.
Noah John Erickson.
Devin Forrest Garnett.
Isabella Dolores Giacomino.
Gunnar David Lance Green.
Sarah Lauren Graven.
Riley Marie Eischen.
Jaden Herr.
Peter Gerald Hollenkamp.
Cody Michael Johnson.
Austin John Lampert Fessler.
Brady Patrick Gutterman.
Students of Dean Heidi Erickson.
Benjamin Edward Kaiser.
Logan James Kissel.
Carl Frederick Keller IV.
Andrew John Castle.
Maxwell Jerome Lampa.
Thomas Joseph Lemire III.
Austin James Lacasse.
McKinley Marie Levitt.
Parker Thomas Messingham.
Colin Daniel Jones.
Allison Paige Joslin.
Joseph David McMahon.
Jesse Lewis Lauer.
Maxwell James Colehep.
Rebecca Christine Larson.
Armando Joseph Lorenzi.
Kylie Joe McLean.
Logan Daniel Kelly.
Eva Tua Mua.
Jack Thomas McKelkey.
Autumn Lillian Kosek.
Jada Marie Larson.
Nader Jamal Mustafa.
Jack Robert Ludke.
Cheyenne Kenzie Long.
Megan Elizabeth Lesh.
Preston John Lee.
Anna Elizabeth Lindell.
Ellen Ross Leffering.
Dylan Michael Kinney.
Micaiah Nalia Lutkin.
Luke Frederick Jordan.
Mason John Jones.
Jacob Michael Livermore.
Nicholas Darwin McCarver.
Rachel Jane Milbauer.
Annalise Elaine Larson.
Jacob Tyler Kaiser.
Charles Richard Kessel.
Brady William Maloney.
Garrett Christian McGeary.
Michael Darian Manette.
Cara Lynn McGregor.
Joshua Benjamin Lee.
Christine K. Murphy.
Cassandra Lynn Lafond.
Brianna Lynn Kreft.
Hunter James Lang.
Heather Christine McCoskey.
Alec Michael Mosing.
Madeline May Long.
Thomas Francis Marsh.
Hannah Catherine Machi.
Natalie Ann Lico.
Morgan Elise Langer.
Madison Marie Kiefer.
Madeline Grace Krieger.
Nicholas Brian Jones.
Katie Ann Mastel.
Matthew Anthony Kleinhans.
Amanda Marie McCullough.
Mackenzie Joe Lundberg.
Caitlin Rose Kraus.
Nathan William Jurgens.
Madeline Ann Lee.
Hayden Marie Kronke.
Adam Will Mersel.
Ashley Lynn Mills.
Olivia Mary Morgan.
Lindsay Kristen Monteferring.
Cora Isabel Martinez.
Morgan Grace Kuchenmeister.
Bashi Lee.
Ryan Michael Copy.
Gunnar Eric Lynn.
Stephen Robert Kronmiller.
Seth Stephen Morris.
Laura Jo Ludicky.
Bryn Genevieve Miron.
Parker Allen McEachran.
Dane Levi Luganbill.
Students of Dean Sam Van Hefty.
Jake David Ross.
Rebecca Rose Olson.
Dagan Marshall Saberlick.
Skylar Sakura Olson.
Lindsay Elizabeth Perrin.
Abigail Ann Peterson.
Sydney Grace Ann Rydell.
Alyssa May Ryan.
Ashton David Posey.
Anna Emily Riefschneider.
Kiefer Alexander Salek.
Kabachawezi Shalita.
Colton Patrick Roberts.
Julia Angeline Peterson.
Cullen Philip Schwintek.
Austin Edson Nelson.
Madeline Catherine Osey.
Madison Ann Rickard.
Trenton Carl Setterstrom.
Reese William Sarnstrom.
Nicole Danielle Olkers.
Alexander Thomas Robinette.
Bradley Joseph Radke.
Lauren Priya Rohan.
Sean Patrick Sardison.
Marianne Patricia Peterson.
Bryce Robert Schaub.
Kimberly Nicole Rayburn.
Josie Mae Olson.
Darren Joseph Thomas Schauer.
Maya Amy O'Brien.
Haley Rose Nordstrom Copeland.
Daniel Nicholas Pruknick.
Joseph Hunter Schroeder.
Caleb Michael Nadeau.
Troy Victor Plesky Jr.
William Michael Pelto.
Jordan Andrew Oberholzer.
Austin Michael Raymeyer.
Bria Maydeen Parent.
Theodore Charles Newer.
Alexander Robert Page.
Courtney McCullough Peterson.
Alicia Marie Olson.
Beck Antone Pope.
Autumn Rose Reed.
Cameron May Oakes.
Jocelyn Christine Rustad.
Kalel Joseph Rodriguez.
Domenico Raymond Orphy.
Thomas Daniel Organ.
Nick Jerome Parent.
Megan Christine Nieders,
Nicholas Joseph Nelson,
Logan Wyatt Rowe,
Samantha Clarice Schoonover,
Anthony Michael Puzidi,
Eric Gunnar Peterson,
Angelina Rachi,
Maria Cecile Shield,
Jacob Paul Olson,
Kaysen Nicole Rindles,
Weston Benton Downing Peterson,
Alexis Jordan Schoberg,
Brooke Emily Remington,
Corey William Ruka,
Nicholas Austin Niemi,
Abigail Nicole Plant,
Emily Rose Olson,
Bailey Ann O'Donovan,
Allison Linnea Olson,
Lucas Cole Pickett,
Annie Grace Peterson,
Nico Joseph Pizzuti,
Trevor J. Schmidt,
Spencer Thomas Notch,
Justin Daniel Rose,
Jonah Thomas Peterson,
Kelsey Gale Severide,
Andrew Michael Schumacher,
Mitchell Kirk Rogers,
Sydney Marie Nen,
Megan Marie Phillipson,
Hannah Nicole Pink,
Emma Ann Passari,
Sydney Marie Schmidt,
Victor Benjamin Rizzo,
Olivia Hope Rice,
Ellen Joe Nelson,
JC Joe Rugland,
Deshaun Floyd Reed,
Jonathan Robert Rivard,
students of Dean Amy Gibson,
Noah Daniel Zobitz,
Delaney Joy Willie,
Lillian May Wallachek,
Alexander Paul Sikora,
Tyler Martin Thomas,
Asia Paja Yang,
Rachel Lee Ziert,
Tatum Marie Stevens,
Colton Thomas Trapp,
Hannah Kate Zlab,
Matthew Paul Warkey,
Drew Michael Whitson,
Kaylee Gale Stewart,
Maria Ann Villela,
Zachary Russell Tussler,
Abigail Jo Youngman,
Annika B. Swanson,
Ty Colby Troswick,
Gavin Joseph Vetch,
Justin Michael Vlatvich,
Maya Mary Zabraski,
Ethan Levane Wilcox,
Cameron Richard Vidland,
Michael Jereb Stringer,
Candice Marina Van Wagner,
Sydney Ann Tebow,
Isaiah Robert Zack,
Caroline Jean Sopp,
Mason Andrew Werkheiser,
Chloe Jane Vincent,
Livia Mairead Wagner,
Gabriella Mary Lynn Walrath,
Joshua James Sukala,
Grace Tao,
Evelyn Judith Ida Tila,
Adam Thomas Strupp,
Hunter Allen Vickery,
Madeline Rosalie Marie Steele,
Nathan C. Vang,
Jenna Ann Zawin,
Morgan Carolyn Thomas,
Jenna Lynn Spiegelberg,
TJ Thel,
Grant Mitchell Yearling,
Ariana Grace Valentine,
Angelica Ankia Seen.
Davis Devon Struntz.
Jenna Rose Scarpole.
Hannah Nicole Van Houten.
Cade Lauren Wilson.
Blake Dean Spidell.
Ethan James Scogan.
Samantha Jean Toby.
Annika Catherine Stiles.
Elisha Ethan Vang.
Harrison Joel Wahlberg.
Grace Jane Sieber.
Logan Edward Swanson.
Lauren Victoria Werscher.
Susan Jo Stokes.
Haley Sue Woods.
Adam Samuel Whitson.
Samuel Robert Streff.
Harrison Robert Taylor.
Allison Marie Thompson.
Shayla Ann Wainke.
Stephen Hyam Winnick.
Serena Lee Smith.
Daniel Henry Volk.
Joshua Paul Templeton.
Lucas Ryan Wallinga.
Eric Gary Stone.
Aaron Louise Thordson.
Justin Michael Spencer.
Emily Ann Wirt.
Emily Jean Sumi.
Tressa Marie Swickenheiser.
Kurt Isaac Wallstrom.
Austin Douglas Sievers.
Gus Patrick Woolley.
Jenna Marie Walton.
Olivia Michelle Stenberg.
Tilly Jean.
Christopher Vang.
Taylor Ann Churchman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first graduate of the class of 2020, Sean Sardison.
Megan Nieders.
Charles David Victor Ferderer.
Josephine Ann Bothan.
Mason John Jones.
Victor Benjamin Rizzo.
Jacob Paul Olson.
Tristan Burtek.
Jack Robert Ludke.
Matthew Paul Workey.
They said your name, go ahead. I think she was backed up there.
Hand your name card to Mr. Zemansky. Stay right there.
Jacob Tyler Kaiser.
Wait on the X. That's what she calls it. You're good.
Deshaun Reed.
Madison Ann Richard.
Wait. Justin Daniel Rose.
Logan Edward Swanson.
Alexis K. Graybow.
Austin Edson Nelson.
Andrew John Castle.
Logan Mark Anderson.
Abigail Elizabeth Glexner. Bailey Marie Donaski.
Abigail Faith Drury.
Bianca Ann Marie Brown.
Alexis Taylor Doctor. Joseph Brink.
Sarah Elizabeth Heald.
Riley Marie Eischen.
Reagan Michael Anderson.
Cameron May Oaks.
Allison Marie Thompson.
That's pretty good.
No. I thought you said 4.
You know, it's just going to be.
Colby Christopher Cummings.
Brianna Elaine Erickson.
Jake Ross! With his tri-medal, look at that guy. Jake Ross. Hey, wait till he says your name. Actually, you do Brockman. Wait till Brockman says yeah, Brockman.
Jake David Ross.
Someone fired confetti.
Samantha Clarice Toonover.
Hey, congratulations.
Amy Chen. Jocelyn Christine Rusted.
Sydney Marie Nen.
Kennedy Mae Brandvold.
Hannah Nicole Pink.
Mark Anthony Caruso.
Madeline Grace Krieger.
Logan Allen Barr. Isaiah Robert Zach.
Theodore Charles Newer.
Ryan Michael Copy.
Madison Marie Kiefer.
Jenna Ann Zawin.
Connor Allen Blanchard.
Bria Maydeen Parent. Tatum Marie Stevens.
Hey, Eric. Hey, congratulations, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, you made it.
Eric Gary Stone.
Nico Joseph Pizzuti.
Emmy Alice Beckrich. And friend.
Anthony Michael Pizzuti.
Cameron Richard Vidland.
Ireland Renee Marsh.
Madeline Rosalie Marie Steele.
Charles Richard Kessel.
Taylor Ann Churchma.
Mason Anthony Aragoni.
Ellie! Congratulations. Just stop on the X. You're good to go. When she calls your name, grab the diploma and you'll stand on that X up there to get your picture, okay? Of course, Katie!
Ellen Joe Nelson.
Angel Rose Marie Cubis.
Keep it. Katie Ann Mastel. You know you gotta keep those all in order, right? You know you gotta keep all your things in order.
Okay, we don't have them. How do you say your name?
Noah Daniel Zobitz.
Cole Housey.
Pedro Castillo Jr.
Hannah Catherine Machi.
JC Joe Rugland.
Caitlin Rose Kraus.
Cody Michael Johnson. Jacob Michael Livermore.
No relation? Maybe?
Jane Sarah Burke.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Wait for your name. What? Hey, it's the card. Oh, yeah. I'd bring it.
Hayden Marie Cronky.
Tyler Martin Thomas.
Hannah Nicole Van Houten.
Nick Jerome Parent.
Nader Mustafa.
Star Angel Boilo.
Bashi Lee.
So when she calls your name, you'll go up, grab a diploma, and stand on your left and face the camera for your picture, okay? You don't need to be nervous. I'd be nervous in those shoes. I'd die on stage. Good for you. You'll be fine.
Grace Elizabeth Rose Berthium.
Abigail Nicole Plant. Alexis Marie Grisbeck.
Alexander Paul Sikora. Anna Lilia May Daza.
Darren Joseph Thomas Shower. Rebecca Christine Larson.
Daniel Henry Volk.
Double up. Yep.
Alexander Thomas Robinette.
Kabachwezi Shalita.
So when she calls your name, you go grab a diploma and stuff and take your picture, okay?
Domenico Raymond Orphy.
Go. Man, they let anybody graduate from this school.
Bailey Marie Hansen.
I made it. It's good to see you again. Yeah, you too, man. I know. Huh?
James Michael Hogan.
Lindsay Kristen Muntefering.
Hunter Vickery.
Julia Angeline Peterson.
Weston Benton Downing Peterson.
Maya Amy O'Brien.
Go when she calls your name and grab a diploma.
Melissa Marinda Ball.
Yeah. It's Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine. She'll call your name, and then you walk up carefully. Now she have a diploma, and then there's a blue access scanner.
Ben Kaiser.
Congratulations. Congratulations, because they were back. That's very exciting. This whole, it's all great.
Jasmine Michelle Gendersey. Craig, you have a kid with a missing card? Write them with it.
Abigail Ann Peterson.
So grab a diploma on your way up. Once you go and stop on the flex and smile for the camera. Go for you. Where do you like Jim? He already won.
Eli William Freeman.
Colton Patrick Roberts.
Okay, so wait there. She'll call your name. Grab a diploma on your way, and there's a blue to stop on the picture, okay?
Maria Ellen Anderson.
Brianna Lauren Bellinger.
Austin Michael Raumeyer.
Cody Elizabeth Anks.
Alyssa Joe Frogner.
Mason Andrew Werkheiser.
After she calls your name, you go up, grab her, and come up.
Dagan Marshall Cyberlick.
Go ahead. Uh-oh.
Alexander John Ferraro.
Who's that? Who's this guy? Hey, man. Congratulations. So she'll call your name, and when she calls your name, you go. Grab
Olivia Hope Rice.
We have to go.
Caleb Elmer Friesen.
Alexis Jordan Schoberg.
Christopher A. Gay.
Lauren Wersher.
Lauren Wersher.
Erin Louise Thordson. Sam, can you get him out faster?
Come on, Sam. So, Brandon Van Effie.
Travis Ty Weiss.
Tiana Jewel Carver.
Alright, she'll call your name, you go up, grab the diploma, and then just stand up for the next picture. Okay? You'll do great.
Hopefully I don't trip.
Yeah.
Sydney Nicole Johnson.
Trenton Carl Setterstrom.
Maxwell James Colop.
Kong Shu Chang.
Michaela Nalia Lutkin.
Marin Bailey Gents.
Hello, congratulations.
We got slipper. Ouch! Right, turn in your name card, stand on the X. Is that her? Hey, Steven. Congratulations. Thank you. Cronmiller.
Stephen Robert Cronmiller.
So grab a diploma. And a diploma. And then stand on the left. Smile.
Eva Tua Mua.
James Jacob Fleming.
Mackenzie Joe Lundberg.
Logan Daniel Kelly.
Jenna Lynn Spiegelberg.
He looks great. Hello.
Sorry.
It's like I haven't seen you. How you been?
Ella Mae Anderson.
Reese William Sarnstrom.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing, man? Pretty good. Congratulations. Thank you. We go up and grab a diploma and then stand on next to your picture, okay? She calls me.
Ryan James Blumenthal.
Rebecca Rose Olson.
I can do that. So you'll wait till she calls you and then we can grab it. Diploma?
Jordan Andrew Oberhauser.
You'll see it. Go ahead. That was you.
Zachary Del Gordy.
Cassandra Lynn LaFond.
Ryan Lee Edquist.
Zachary Richard Bell Isle.
Madeline Catherine Osee.
I know, but I have a backup and you have nobody.
Evelyn Judith Ida Thiela.
Olivia Mary Morgan.
When she calls your name, you go up, grab the diploma, and then stop on the
Austin James Lacoste.
Gunnar Eric Lynn.
Zachary Leonard Furlong.
Larissa Lucine Broder.
Alright. Say your name. Did you say his name?
Logan Jacob Eberts.
this quarter.
Thomas Daniel Organ.
Best student you've ever had. Really? Yeah. Never made a mistake. So, you get every function.
Annika B. Swanson.
Ty Colby Troswick.
So when she says your name, you're gonna go up, grab any diploma, and we'll do the rest of it.
Autumn Ann Huddleston.
Natalie Ann Lico.
Gracie Margaret Gregoire.
Taylor Zoanne Glumack.
So Mrs. Brockman will call your name. You go up and grab.
Alyssa Ann Dressel.
Skylar Sakura Olson.
Matthew Anthony Kleinhans.
Matt, fix your skull, buddy. There you go, he's got it. Go ahead, hand in your name card, stand on that.
Hakan Trigvi Sand.
Then you go up and grab it. Mary, we can't put
Sydney Ann Tebow.
would it be better to put the mat over the way? If it comes to it, we will. Did you rehearse?
Hunter Ray Belfany.
It's good they should come in groups of 4 on that side because they're so slow.
Van Hefty. He's the worst. All right, hang tight till she says your name.
Nicholas Brian Jones.
Jacob Thomas Gonya.
Man, how you doing, bro? When she says your name, grab your diploma.
Colin Daniel Jones.
Joseph Hunter Schroeder.
Gunnar David Lance Green.
Samantha Ellen Fight.
Spencer Thomas Notch.
Calder David Eric.
Shelby Ann Rosinger.
Connor Lee Duxon.
Natalie Elizabeth Jacobson.
Gavin Joseph Vetch.
Well, there's Will Chatwin. Hey, man.
William Cole Chatwin.
The Chatwin family, hey!
Kate,
You drive, Ben? Nice.
Caitlin Anella Galadowicz.
Don't say anything too personal.
Haley Rose Nortram Copeland.
Anna Emily Reifschneider.
They're just a little slower on that side, and yeah, and there's lots of double families on this side. Ours get back.
There you go. Thank you. So, when she says your name, you go up, grab it, and stand.
Trevor J. Schmidt.
Mitchell Kirk Rogers.
Grace Jane Sieber.
Oh my God.
Cole Allen Gullickson.
Logan James Kissel.
Kylie Joe McLean.
Christine K. Murphy.
Ellen Ross Leffring.
Alright, wait there on the X. She'll call your name, then you go up, grab a diploma, and stand in the okay?
Lucas Daniel Erickson.
Austin John Lampert Fessler.
And just walk up. She'll call your name, then you go up.
Samuel Robert Straff.
Grab a diploma and stand in.
Adam Samuel Whitson.
Don't trip, Caleb. Hey! Hey, man. How are you, Ryan? Where do I go? When she says your name.
Caleb Michael Nadeau.
Ryan Matthew Heyer.
Colton Thomas Trapp.
Ryan Peter Grindal.
Taylor Hickerson.
Jessica Lynn Colliard.
Go up when she calls you.
Tony Plesky.
Troy.
Troy Plesky. Sorry, Troy.
Marianne Patricia Peterson.
Hannah Kate Slob.
Go ahead.
I gotta turn like a rotisserie chicken. Elena May Gierke.
Adam Mitchell Harrington.
Grant Earling. They're just going to be delayed a little bit because they're fixing this, so just hang tight. Eric Joel Hool.
Carl, you ready? Carl Frederick Keller IV.
Morgan Grace Kuchenmeister.
Hey.
Jesse Lewis Lauer.
Maria Ann Villella.
Samantha Jean Toby.
Alyssa May Ryan.
Mitchell Avery Folksy.
Braden William Gierke.
Desiree Hope Finstrom.
Ian Elliott Dow.
Drew Michael Whitson.
Jordan Lee Bulow.
So when she calls her name, you'll go up.
Bailey Ann O'Donovan.
Elisha Ethan Vang.
Alice Jara.
Ryan Howard Brown.
Okay, wait till she calls her name.
Brody Stephen Bruner.
Christopher Lauren Blount.
Barry, Court.
Grace Tao.
Drake Jeffrey Gullickson.
Shayla Ann Winky.
Autumn Lillian Kosek.
Cole Brian Carpenter.
Eric Gunnar Peterson.
Trenton William Elliott.
Don't get so excited.
Susan Joe Stokes.
Autumn Rose Reed.
Call your name.
Gabriella Mary Lynn Walrath.
Ethan James Scogan.
Amelia May Dreyfall.
Angelina Rachi.
Iman Omer Barrento.
Caitlin Anna Hall.
You gotta wait till she calls your name. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Zachary Nicholas Conway.
Kelsey Gail Severide.
When she calls your name, go up there and stand where he's standing in the black, okay?
William Michael Pelto.
Levi Jason Ahrens.
Come here, Preston.
Hello, Brockman. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Preston, you need to wear more stuff. I don't think you have enough. What?
Keep it for your scrapbook.
Oh, okay. All right.
Preston John Lee.
Grab a diploma and stand in the black. Thank you for everything, Mr. Cumwall.
Sydney Marie Schmidt.
Alicia Marie Olson.
Stephen Hyam Winnick.
Hunter, when she calls your name, grab a diploma and that's able to stand the lecture picture, okay? Congratulations.
Hunter James Lang.
Chimeng Alex Herr.
Joshua Paul Templeton.
Jonah Thomas Peterson.
Cheyenne Kenzie Long.
Yep, you're welcome.
Noah Henry Allen Heikela.
Madeline Rose Dreyer.
Andrew Yorick Jensen.
You have the best hat so far. Thank you. Nice.
Nathan William Jurgens.
Anthony Robert Full.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
How are you?
You gotta wait till she says your name. Oh. Oh, yeah. Good. It's really nice to see you.
Maria Cecile Shield.
Ethan Levane Wilcox.
Rachel Lee Zert.
Namaya Berhanamesko.
When she says your name.
Davis Devon Struntz.
Parker Allen McEachran.
Grace Nicole Dunn.
Samuel Hernandez.
Devon Forrest Garnett.
Brady William Maloney.
Kaysen Nicole Rindels.
Joshua Benjamin Lee.
When she calls your name.
Thomas Francis Marsh.
Kalel Joseph Rodriguez.
Madeline Ann Lee.
Daniel Nicholas Prucknick.
Where's the camera?
Blake Raymond Boyd.
Yeah, go ahead.
Richard Joel England.
Call your name.
Jack Thomas McKelkey.
Garrett Christian McGeary.
Blake Dean Spidell.
Alan Marie Gaynor.
Lucas Cole Pickett.
Dylan Michael Kinney.
It's going. It's really nice to see you.
Daniel Lawrence Findell.
Come on up. Grab a diploma and we'll actually picture it, okay? Okay, you're going to. Congratulations, Wally.
Nicholas Austin Nemi.
Robin Deanna Holt.
Lillian May Wallachek.
Angelica Sheen. How are you?
Good. Gotta wait till she says your name. I know. Sorry about that. It's okay. I tell ya, never done this before, so don't feel like
Serena Lee Smith.
we'll have another 4 years from now. Well, right, but for high school. Yeah.
Aaron Michael Bloomberg.
Grab a diploma and stand up like you bet.
Gus Patrick Woolley.
Just say your name, and you go out and grab a diploma and stand on the blue X. And smile all pretty and stuff.
Annalise Elaine Larson.
Ashley Elaine Berg.
Cade Lauren Wilson.
McKinley Marie Levitt.
Michael Darian Monette.
Caroline Jean Sopp.
Call your name, go up, grab a diploma, then stand on the flex and smile pretty for mom. Go on, grab a
Dane Levi Luganbill.
You did it! Yeah, girl.
Emily Rose Olson.
Yes, that too. All right, wait till she calls your name.
Rachel Jane Milbauer.
Lindsay Elizabeth Perrin.
Morgan Carolyn Tomas.
Morgan.
Are you the last one?
Oh, I'm losing my hearing apparently. Sorry. Delaney Joy Willie.
You call your name and go off. I'll tell you the next part.
Kate Ann Gamenden.
Grab a diploma.
Thomas Joseph Lemire III.
Go ahead and turn in your name card and stand on the X. Awesome speech, dude. Good to see you.
Livia Marabe Wagner.
Nicole Danielle Olkers.
Corey William Ruka.
Justin Michael Spencer.
Justin Flatkovich.
Peter Gerald Hollenkamp.
And then go ahead and stand on the X. Okay? Perfect.
Candace Marina Van Wagner.
Ariana Grace Valentine.
Of course you're holding up the line.
There we go. Turn in your name card.
Wait till she says your name.
Luke Frederick Jordan.
Okay, grab a diploma and stand on the left.
Avery James Hiller.
Ronald Christian Henderson.
Caitlin Minogue Atkin.
Call your name.
Seth Stephen Morris.
Who's it for?
Ashley Sarah Halliday.
Call your name. You go over, grab a diploma, and then stand on the blue X, and then she'll get your picture, okay?
Bryn Megan Genevieve Miron.
Shelby Ann Hantho.
Megan Elizabeth Lesh.
Hey, Luscious, it's so nice to see you.
Megan Marie Phillipson.
Are you ready for this? I think you can handle it. Yes. Set. Good to see you.
Cora Isabel Martinez.
Come on up. Yep. Grab a diploma. Any of them from the okay? You're welcome. Go ahead and turn in your name card and stand on the X, okay? Okay.
Casey Jewel Fratellone.
Grab a diploma from the table.
Hannah Lee Beer.
Neither here nor there.
Josie Mae Olson.
Sarah Lauren Graven.
Paige Morgan Brock.
Bradley Joseph Radke.
Okay, wait there till you call your name.
Tyler Richard Dubiel.
Jack Archibald Bodette.
Congratulations, Derek. Turn in your name card and stand on the X, okay? Wait till she says your name. Hold on.
Derek Christopher Bradshaw.
Noah John Erickson.
Let's go. Go ahead, turn in your name card right here. Okay, go ahead and stand right on the X. Bow tie is brilliant. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations.
Saeed Abdirashid Jama.
Max Michael Charlson. Oh, sorry.
Okay, you're first. There we go. Turn in your name card. Stand on the X. Over here. Right there.
Amanda Marie McCullough.
Hannah Marie Holinsky.
Taylor James Jensen.
Joseph David McMahon.
Brooke Emily Remington.
Quentin Charles Evans.
Leon, let's just go
Abigail Joe Youngman.
Madeline May Long.
Congratulations, Alex. Thank you.
Annie Grace Peterson.
Alexander Robert Page.
Morgan Elise Langer.
Logan Wyatt Rowe.
Kayla Jean Burns.
Benjamin Joseph Gornick.
Caitlin Grace Blackburn.
Harrison Robert Taylor.
Allison Paige Joslin.
Grace Ruth Holly.
Yep, right there. She'll call your name. Sit tight.
Ashley Lynn Mills.
You go up. Come on up. Grab it this moment.
Parker Thomas Messingham.
Right here. Frank, I think you can go because ours isn't going to get on the car. Okay. Oh, okay, Nick. Yeah. All right. Why don't you stand up here on the second? Nick, you're going to come up here. Nick, you're up here. Turn in your name card. Nick, turn in your name card. There you go.
Nicholas Joseph Nelson.
Zachary Russell Tussler.
Just grab one. Yeah, they're all cool. You get your real one in the mail. All right. Yeah. You have to make sure you graduate.
Harrison Joel Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you? Andrew Michael Schumacher.
Sydney Grace Ann Rydell.
Cullen Philip Schwintek.
Jaden Herr.
Sage. Not most people.
Haley Sue Woods.
Sage Elizabeth Anderson.
Maxwell Jerome Lampa.
Annika Catherine Stiles.
Ethan Daniel Erickson.
Go ahead and park directly with the photo. Chloe Vincent.
I have this because
Okay, stand on the X.
We gotta give your name to
my name. Oh, this is kid,
Oh.
the next kid. Sorry.
Okay.
Here you go. Oh my God. This is
Chloe Vincent.
So go on up, Chloe. You got it right here. Go ahead and stand on the X.
Hannah Rose Clinton.
Devin Robert Gould.
Turn in your name card and stand on the X.
Heather McCoskey.
Congratulations, Heather.
Emily Ann Wirt.
Zachary Ryan Henches.
Allison Linnea Olson.
Lucas Ryan Wallinga.
Jackson Scott Barnes.
Adam Thomas Strupp.
Armando Joseph Lorenzi.
Alexander Lee Jankowski.
Emily Jean Sumi.
TJ Thel.
Congratulations, TJ.
Gabriel Jackson Brisboy.
It actually starts on the right and goes to the left. Anna Elizabeth Lindell.
Tyler Jacob Guertin.
Stand on that.
Khalid Abdi Hassan.
Come on up. Grab a friend from the team. Okay? And there's
Last but not least.
Okay, wait for her to say your name. Best for last.
Emma Ann Pasari.
All right, grab a diploma from the tip. Get it. Good job. It didn't rain. Get it. Get it. Get it.
Congratulations to the class of 2020.